What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is so good to be back in the studio. And hope you guys are staying safe at home still. This is Mamak Sessions. Let's go. You know the drill. It is so good to be back, don't you think so?
Right. I mean, I miss this place, bro. I miss the lights. I miss you. I miss having guests around. I just miss this table as well. Oh,
Yeah.
So good, so good.
Of course, we are practicing our social distancing, so Brandon is like kind of like 1 meter away from me.
Is this 1 meter?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah,
This is 1 meter actually. More
Yeah.
than 1 meter.
exactly.
Oh, not bad, bro.
Yeah, how have you
figured it
been?
out.
How have you been? I mean, like I haven't seen you in 2.5. Well, I saw you kind of like last week, lah. But you know,
My hair is in a very annoying state right now. Where it's
all
like,
of our hairs are in an annoying state
it's
right
not
now.
long, it's not short, you know. So if you want to bring it up, if you want to spike my hair,
Yeah.
it's like too long to spike. But at the same time, if you just leave it down, it won't go down because it just pacha out like that. So it's at a very annoying state where it's
Yeah, we all know that everyone's actually going through kind of like a trying time right now. And of course, when these type of things happen, right, it all boils down to one thing.
Yeah.
It's always cash flow or money and stuff like that. And when these type of things happen, everybody will always... I mean, your parents have told you this before. Make sure you save for the rainy day. We are going through the rainy day right now.
And this rainy day doesn't seem like it's gonna stop until like quite some time.
Yeah,
it's gonna go on for quite
and
some time.
for that, you know, I would like to introduce our guest today. You know, we it's okay. The way that we found her was online, not stalking, by the way, but we chanced upon her, so I'll say it's fate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to basically introduce our guest on the show today. We have a girl. Yay!
We're so like schoolboys, bro.
I know. It's like it's been, you know, pardon our awkwardness, ladies and gentlemen. We have Su Yin on the show.
Welcome, Suyin.
Oh, I didn't turn on the microphone. See,
Hey, bro, how long, bro? You've been doing this, bro.
I'm sorry. So we have Su Yin. Hi, Su Yin. Welcome to the show.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're kind of awkward because we have not been speaking to guests for the past 2.5 months.
Oh, it's okay. I'm super awkward. I haven't seen anyone in a really long time.
Great.
You're the first girl we've seen on the table in like 2.5 months, sir.
Brandon, can you not make us sound so desperate?
Sorry.
Yeah, it sounds so sad.
So excited to see you, Suyin.
Yeah, we're so excited to see humans. But Suyin, I mean, just like for our listeners who are listening right now, could you just tell them a bit about your background? What do you do?
Okay, so how you chanced upon me was because I started a YouTube channel last year talking
Yeah.
about investing and finance. That is not my main job. I'm actually an ex-school teacher and I wanted to practice sales. So that's what I'm doing right now. And YouTube is kind of like a nice outlet to be creative and also like to talk about money because it's something that's so relevant and not really much talked about because there's like a lot of shame and a lot of stigma around it. So I thought it would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can speak about money because the reason why we got you on the show today is because, like, okay, a lot of people have always heard this saying from their parents, like, hey, make sure you all don't simply spend your money, you all make sure you all save for rainy days. Like, no matter how little or how much you make, your parents are gonna say that, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, for me, is until today, you know, when I go out and I buy something and I come back with a new T-shirt, my mom like, oh, you buy T-shirt How much? How much? Where you buy from? Then be like, oh, I bought it for 16 ringgit. Kum guai why you buy You know, this sort of things. You know, it will forever be. It will forever be. You know, in the back of your head, like save. So when it comes, then the thing is, people only understand savings. Like,
yeah.
I need to save money, but sometimes people just don't understand how to save.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a skill that we need to learn. And I can say that when I first started working, I was spending like way a lot and no saving was happening.
Wow. Okay, so then when did it kick? Okay, so when did it kick in for you and made you suddenly realize, oh my god, I kind of need savings?
I guess like 3 months in. Because like the first paycheck is really cool. You like finally have your own money and then you get really excited and you spend way more than your paycheck. And then you're like, I have a problem. And yeah, then I realized like this is really not sustainable. I'm gonna get myself into trouble, especially if like I let like credit card debt pile on. So yeah, it wasn't like a big revelation, but I just realized like, yeah, it's not viable to keep going like this.
You started a YouTube channel where you start educating people, because it's your passion, just to educate, and you're an ex-school teacher as well.
Yeah.
So why finance? Why savings? Why investing? I mean, you could have thought about so many topics, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could have got like
Why?
10 different types of students in college.
Right. Yeah.
Or 10 types of teachers in college.
Oh.
Or like how to make dalgona coffee. But here you have talking about finance and money and stuff like that.
So why?
I guess because people paint money out to be as like this thing that everyone wants to have, but at the same time, everyone talks about it like it's an evil thing or it's not good to be greedy. But it is a tool where all of us need to utilize. And normally when we have conversations around it, we hide a lot of things like how much we're actually earning. It's very taboo to talk about that.
Yeah.
And how much you have in your bank account. Are you investing? What are you investing for? What's it all for?
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was interesting to do this and kind of niche as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
True.
And you don't find that many people out there giving advice about like, managing your finances and stuff like that.
Really?
I
There's
think-
so many.
Yeah, but the thing is, some of them you cannot trust. There'll be this guy popping out of nowhere. Hello, hi. In this time right now, you need to listen to my course, and I will make you earn like $70,000 a month, whatever not.
I think that's different, lah. You're talking about those, financial gurus, the ads pop up and stuff like that. So that's I think a little bit different from what she does, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very different. So I
Yeah.
guess in a way, it's nice to come from this perspective of a regular person
Yep.
and to talk about it so more people can relate to it because it's way more complicated than it should be.
Right.
Yeah. So far, my take on it is I only share what works, what I've done, what works for me.
Right.
Then that is valid enough. And I never say that, this is like the one-stop solution. This is something you could test out and it worked for me. It might work for you too. And if it doesn't, there are plenty more ways to try out.
Fair.
Right. So going back into like savings, like when people talk about savings, right? Like in your opinion, how does one make the most of their savings? Or before we even get to that, what is the most essential way to actually save?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that question because we always think about our parents, right?
Yeah.
Right? Save for a rainy day. But when we really find out what we are actually saving for, our why,
Mm-hmm.
then it actually gives us fuel and motivation to do it.
Right.
If not, then it's just like, I'm doing it because I need to do it or
Mm-hmm.
someone told me to do it. There's no real, force behind it.
What was your now that you mentioned, it's so funny because it kind of rings a little like nostalgia at me because when I first got my paycheck, I saved, and it's like I didn't save for those little small goals,
Okay.
I saved because I wanted to buy a car.
Wow.
Because I was driving a beat up Proton Vira. Okay, it's like which was a hand me down, and it's like when you go to college, when you go out, you work, you drive out with your friends, right? Then they got rust all on the side of your car, and everybody like look at you one car, and I'm like, this is my mom's car. So that was actually my goal, and that's where I started saving. Yeah, and then along the way, when I started saving, right, you suddenly formulate this few things, like you suddenly formulate this formula on how to basically put aside money so that you can basically save towards this goal. Okay, let's say for example, if I have to make sure that my bank balance, right, was at a certain amount.
Yeah.
That means like for example, if I had like 1,000 ringgit, so I can spend the extra ringgit that comes after 1,000.
Right.
Yeah, a benchmark.
Yeah, a benchmark. What, you do that too?
I do that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
It's so weird.
It's like you open your bank account. Today I have 1,000. I have 1,050. Hey, I can spend $50.
Right.
Then
But
today is 1,000. Shit, I can't spend anything.
No, but you're right. When I first started, so I had this like sort of benchmark thing, right? I mean, I guess what you said, goal setting and having a motivation of something you're saving for, so you're saving towards something. That makes so much sense, But yeah, I had this benchmark thing as well going on for me when I first started working, my first paycheck, and then as I earn more, then I raised that benchmark.
Oh yes.
Right?
Yeah,
You raise it.
yeah.
You want to have this set amount so that when anything happens at all, you have this set amount sitting there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but obviously this is our take, lah, right?
I know, I had that too.
You also
Oh, you had that too?
We're normal, bro.
But you
Yes.
see, that's the issue. We will always hover around that amount and spend everything else.
Right.
Right? So you're
Right.
not actually saving more. Like you save more with the paycheck increase or like bonus. But after that, you're just maintaining at that level.
Right.
And I think the biggest mistake with that is that as you raise the benchmark, you sort of lose sight of the potential of what that extra, just say you have
Oh, yeah?
5,000 and then you raise the benchmark to 10,000, but you lose sight of potential of what the extra 5,000 could have done for you if you put it somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
Right?
it does. It does.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the 19-year-old me, the 19-year-old in me is screaming like, "Stupid idiot! Why did you do that?"
Right. So Suyin, that didn't work for you, right?
No, I didn't.
So what worked for you then?
Okay, I read a couple of books,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a bunch of ways to go about it. I came across this thing called the bucket system.
Mm-hmm.
So where you have accounts designated for certain goals,
Mm-hmm.
and then you split them up. So like if you just think about it, it's just 3 different buckets. One for blowing, you're spending your money. One for
I like that one for blowing. Why are you choking, Brandon?
Someone's choking.
I love she started with blowing though. Yeah, one for saving, one for investing, and then but the first one she started with one for blowing, man.
Okay, all right.
Gratification first.
Okay, 3 buckets. One for
but
blowing, and then
Camera pen to her up, pen to her.
yeah. Okay, so one. Okay, let's just change it up. One for spending.
one for spending,
Yeah.
one for growing,
Yep.
and the other one is an emergency fund.
Oh. Oh wow! I never actually thought that you want to basically categorize it like that, because I always thought, right, whatever you save in the bank, that benchmark, that is your emergency fund.
Yeah.
Right? We
Yeah.
would think so, right? But there are a whole range of emergencies. And there are also things that we really want to spend on, like travel or gifts for people and yourself included. So if everything's coming from the same pool, what has to give?
Yeah.
Right. So with this bucket system that you had, right, I guess this sort of worked for you a little bit. But then the next question that has to be asked is like, what is the percentage then? Because, you know, you have 3 different baskets right now. I don't suppose you're going to split it 33.33. So what is the percentage that works, I guess, for you?
For me, I'm kind of over the top.
Right.
But most people do 50, 30, 20.
50, 30,
50
20.
for spending
Okay.
and 30 for... Oh, actually, this rule is a bit weird. There's double spending. 50 for spending, 30 for spending on your wants. So like splurging.
Oh.
And then the 20% left is for savings.
Okay.
This is not what I do, but that is a very famous concept that most people do.
Yeah.
What I do is I take it very extra and I put it into 6 different accounts.
6.
6. Yes. Some I double up, like say with Maybank, I have 2 because it's easy to open an account with Maybank. And one has like interest-bearing fees, or not fees, interest-bearing interest.
Right. What do you mean by
Interest-bearing
interest-bearing
account.
interest?
Sorry, interest meaning that the account, whatever you are saving inside, it gives you interest.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of current accounts, you are not getting anything for putting your money there.
Oh, and then so basically it's per annum lah. It's like annually, right? The interest.
Yeah, it's small. It's very small. Right now it's like 0.85%. But your money's sitting there anyway, so you might as well be getting a little bit of interest.
Ah.
But why 6? Like you
Why
said, you know,
6?
3 baskets,
Okay.
but you've extrapolated to 6
Yeah,
baskets
so
here.
I've specified what I wanted.
Right.
So I told my money where to go. So
Right.
just to break it down, I have daily expenditure and splurging. Splurging is important because we need to treat ourselves. If not, we go crazy. It's true. And after that, I have an emergency fund,
Yep.
an investment fund, a vacation fund, and a gift fund.
A gift fund. Oh, that's interesting. What is a gift fund? Like to just bless others?
Yeah, it could be gifts for, say, charity,
Ah.
or it
Oh.
could be gifts for the people we love. And, you know, like this month's Mother's Day. This month's like crazy. I have a lot of friends having birthdays, and my
Ooh.
mom's birthday and Mother's Day, so it's quite heavy. So certain months you need to plan properly.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's a very interesting way to kind of like partition your money out to say. That means like these are all savings. It's like, let's say for example, if your gift fund was like on a decline, that means there'll be no gifts for anyone, right?
Yeah, no gift for you.
Oh wow. Okay.
Not for you, bro. Others before yourself, okay?
Yeah. I feel like okay, that's a very interesting way to put it. It's like okay, that means like I'm gonna open like multiple different accounts to pay for different things. Oh wow, that's actually a very like for us, most of us just put it all under one bucket. That's it.
How do you save? Like we've heard of you know, the way she saves with 6 accounts. Like for someone like you at this stage of your life, now you're a dad, you got a family. How do you save?
okay lah, when you run a business, it's a bit different. It's a bit different.
It's quite different.
Yeah, because like nothing is fixed. You know, like 1 month you'll be doing great in sales, and 1 month you'll be doing bad. After that 1 month, a virus comes out and say hello everyone, and everybody stays home, and it goes down the drain. And then I think like when I was younger, right, how I used to save was once I get my paycheck, I would spend whatever I want first, and then at the end of the month, right, if I have like a remainder, I'll just put it into my so-called bank. And but that's the thing though, I did not separate it according to how you separate it, but the way you're separating it, so again, it's more of like it's more clear cut. It's more visually, you when you look at it, you understand, okay, in these different accounts I have so much money left. For me, is I just put it all under one bank. So it's always that that's how I kind of like build that threshold. So when I remember when I first got my paycheck, I didn't save. The first paycheck, I went out to buy like, stuff, go out, yay, party, drink, clubbing and stuff like that. After that, when I started saving, I think I started like putting like $200, $200, like, every month. Like after I have to make sure that like whatever is okay. At first I was kind of like maybe once in a while I'll save $100, then once in a while it's like $200, then once like 150, because it's based on how much I spend for the whole entire month, you see. And then like after a while I kind of did it a little bit differently, where I made sure I took out like a percentage of my salary and I put it and then after that I started another bank account. Yeah. And that's where I kind of like my salary goes into that bank account. Then after that, I transfer my money to the other bank account. And after that, I just spend off from that bank account where my salary goes into.
So unknowingly, you actually applied the bucket system.
Yeah, unknowingly. It became more of like a instinct kind of thing. Because like again, going back to what Suyin was saying, like, when you see that amount of money keeps growing in one bank account, right? You have the tendency of splurging everything. It's like, oh, wow, look at that. I can buy so many things with this kind of thing. So like, I went with the angle of, I would like to think that I have no money. So that's why like when you start, right, the minute you get a paycheck, you can like take away like 50%, throw it away. So let's say if you earn like 2,000 ringgit, you took 50% away, right? And then you put it into a bank account, then you're like, oh my God, I only have $1,000. So it psychologically kind of told me like, I was paid $1,000 by my company, and this is what I have to survive with for the whole entire month. So that's kind of like how I started savings. And then, when you build like when you do that, after a while, when your saving kind of builds out a little bit, then, you kind of want to put it into little small like fixed deposits to get like, that interest rate and whatever not. And then like, as long as you don't need to touch the money, I think like for me is I read up online, there was this thing called the M2U savers. That kind of have like what interesting was it? I'm not sure what it was, but I read this one online blog last time. Wow, so old school. That gives you a lot of like information about like, oh, what's the best credit card to get? Well, I can't remember what it's called, but right now it's not free anymore. You have to pay to read that blog.
Right.
Well done, that fella. Then he told people to basically in your Maybank account, just go online and activate a Maybank to use savers account, because the interest there is better than your current account. Yep. Yeah. So I'm like, for me, it's like the minute I see your interest is better, I didn't even check how many. I just open. Yeah. And then what I did was I just dumped everything there.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. So now I have like I have 3 bank accounts. Yeah. But how did you save?
I think for me, it's a lot to do with mentality as well, like background. Because like for you, you read up on books, and that's how you know about this kind of systems and this kind of methods, And for you, it's trial and error. I think for me, it was a lot to do with background, really, because I don't come from a rich family when I was growing up. So I had to work since I was 14 years old, right? So because of that, it just instilled into me the value of money, the value of hard work, and the value of money, that money is not easily earned. And when you know that value of money, you automatically go into savings mode. It was sort of ingrained in me. So from then on, whatever I earned, I was an extreme saver. Not in a very stingy way, in a very prudent way, but I was an extreme saver. Like I would save up to even 70%. And I have very few wants in life. Honestly, I have very, very few wants in life. So only after I met Phoebe that I became a little bit more open in my spending. All right, my first splurge on clothes, I'm not even kidding you, was with Phoebe. Yeah, I spent like 500 ringgit in H&M, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. But before that, I just buy like, really like FOS, or like one piece of t-shirt is like 15 ringgit. and I spent very little on myself. So I went on an extreme saving mode from a very young age, and I guess that's the motivation for me to make sure that in my future I don't want to live like this, and to make sure I have more than enough to save for a rainy day. So it depends on your life goals as well. You know, we'll move on to like motivation and life goals as well, right?
Yeah.
But for me, my motivation was that when I grow old or when I grow up, I don't want to be living like this, and I don't want my future kids to be living like this. So it's okay. I have very few wants in life, but I went to extreme saving mode. So if I receive a paycheck of like 1,000, right, just to round it, 1,000 ringgit, instantly for me, 10%. I mean, this is personal, 10% will go for tithes. Like, you know, I just give my tithes. And then straight away after that, 50%, literally 50% is what I save. I dump it and I pretend like what you said, I pretend like it's not even there.
Yeah.
I don't even have it. The balance, I pay my bills and everything. That's very important. I pay whatever, all my commitments. And then the balance, if I don't have to spend on anything, I put it back into the 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, but because it's background, that's why I say it has to do a lot of mindset also. Like you say, you know, you have to be disciplined. You have to have that mindset where you want to commit to this bucket system. Sure, you know, you have to commit to it. Like yourself, so you want to raise the benchmark, you commit to it. You want to read the blog, you commit to it. So for me, it was a lot to do. The mentality was built up because of a background, because of growing up situations and conditions. So I guess everyone has different life experiences, lah. Yeah, so I'm very excited to hear. So like, you know, for her, she took it upon herself to actually read up. Then she know about, there's so many financial instruments out there, you know. Yeah, and for you also, you know, like you read a blog. So you can actually add to your knowledge, lah. But I guess it has to do a lot with your motivation and your life goals as well.
Yeah.
Like what
why
is
are
your
we
life
doing
goals? Like why are you saving for?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
What was your motivation to save initially?
Okay. So I wanted to be able to know that I can take care of myself.
Okay.
So it started off with an emergency fund. So when it came to savings, my main focus was security first, and then after that, you know, the wants in life.
Wow. And then so how long? Okay, obviously, when we all have this discussion, right? Everybody was thinking, okay, you know, this sounds like something I can achieve very fast. So how long did it actually?
How long?
Yeah.
I think it's still an ongoing process, right?
Because
for
everybody,
sure.
you know, everybody, right, when they talk about it, right, they be thinking, oh, yeah, I can do that too. After when they start doing it, right, they get demotivated because like, it's like macam my bukit is not. It's like I'm trying to build this. I'm trying to go build this hill or build this pool of cash, but it's like slowly, and people get demotivated.
Yeah, because like we're primed to want that instant gratification, and savings is definitely delayed. So we need to gamify it a bit and celebrate all the little wins. So for me, when I was building my emergency fund, I think it took me 1.5 years to build it to that sort of level that I feel is I'm secure and I can take on, you know, rainy days like now. I'll still be okay. And also having a system in place and the tools in place that will help us achieve all these goals really helps, because if not, you will lose track of what you wanted to do in the first place and just like give it up and like close shop.
Okay, when you mention tools, what kind of tools?
Tools are like bank accounts with interests that you were talking about. And also, I think all three of us talked about this, but we kind of skipped over it a little bit. So for people listening, it is super important to save before you spend.
Oh.
Right? I think all of us said that
Yeah.
in one way or another.
Save before you spend. Because when I started, I spend, then only I save.
Yep.
So you think the best practice is save first, then spend?
Yeah, because you got to there, right?
It very unconscious. I mean, I wasn't very conscious about it because I just felt like, just echoing that, right? Because like you get a paycheck from your employer, let's say 2,000 ringgit. Wow, I got 2,000 ringgit to spend. You know what I mean? Then you go and spend, and then you like literally try to make the most out of 2,000 ringgit, and you realize like, wow, I went out and I had so much fun, and I still have 200 ringgit. Okay lah, I'll save the 200 ringgit. And then for me back then, it just was very demotivating because like, it came. I mean, I think I was doing that for a while, right? And then I see my friends putting down payments for cars or down payments for a house, and then I look at myself and like, it's like there's nothing to down payment for, you know what I mean? Because I can't. And then you know when you go to a car sales dealer or whatever, 10% down payment. I was like, how much? 8,000. Do I have 8,000? No, I don't have 8,000. Crap. Then that's where I forced myself to like, okay, once this came in, really like cut it and put it there. I really put it in there. And then the funny thing about that was I knew that I wanted to get a new car, but that kind of just faded away for a bit. Like I started doing that habit that I did. I started doing that for about maybe a year and a half or almost 2 years, and then at first I wanted to buy. Okay lah, I mean, last time I love this car a lot. I wanted to put a down payment for a Proton Wajah.
Oh, I've heard this.
Yeah, Proton Wajah back then, right? I was like, man, this Proton Wajah is so damn cool, man. It's like you can adjust the volume on the freaking steering wheel. I was like, it's like shit. It's like a BMW, but you know, it's cheaper. So I wanted to go for that. But after practicing the whole take a chunk of your salary and put it in savings, right? After 2 years, I looked at it. I was like, oh, I could put a down payment for a better car. And that's where you start getting spots. So then after that, I'm like, okay, but I want to put a down payment for something I want, but I still want to balance. And that's where you check yourself.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Suyin, for someone like you, right, who, because I have my opinions on his story as well, but for someone like you, just say someone who just started working, or, I'm sure a lot of people who are listening, they just started working, or maybe they're really young execs or anything like that. But what is your advice for people who just start working and then they want to go and buy like a new car straight away when they start working? Like, honestly, like, what's your opinion on that? Like, would you advise them, oh, maybe not, or like you want to wait first, or yeah, now you're working, you can go get a car?
I mean, it's a touchy subject, right?
Mm-hmm.
And guys really love their cars like more than girls do. So it's kind of a different ball game. But the rule of thumb here is, do you really want to put money down on something that will depreciate?
Yeah, waiting for the girl to say that, Jin.
That's the sad part, lah. Like, after a while, what's more important to you? Do you want to grow that wealth, or do you want to have that car?
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong. It's just what you want and what you need are two very different things.
Yeah.
So like, are you able to basically achieve your material wealth through savings?
Yeah. So actually, we cannot talk about savings without mentioning earning and investing, because we cannot save our way to being financially free or super wealthy.
Yeah.
Because you can only save 100% of your income, but you can earn way more than that, and the upside is limitless for earning.
Yeah.
And that's why we always need to have the conversation together: earning, saving, investing. Investing comes later because that's about growing wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that for I think that comes at the later stage where you are more well versed and well educated with what you really want to invest in. I think like for people who just come out to work, right? I think maybe all of us have been already kind of like mentioning it already, like how to basically start saving. I mean, yeah, you're going to splurge, all right? Then after that, you're going to realize that, hey, I want to reach that goal. I think everybody, right, will probably have some sort of motivation when they want to buy something, or like, yeah, for me, it was a car. Although like, some people, my bunch of friends, right, what they did was they basically took on, they put a down payment for a house. That would have been a better decision, because like some of my staff right now, right, they are working with me, and then they're like about maybe 23, 24, and they put a down payment on a house, and I'm like, wow. So if I were to go back to my younger self and tell myself, I think the first thing I would do is, okay, with all the savings you've saved, right, buy a house first. Then like, if you are lucky, you get a hand-me-down car, just use it lah, right? Because at the end of the day, cars will always depreciate. I will tell myself, buy a second-hand car. Because
Suyin is just like,
yes. Buy a second-hand car, because cars depreciate anyhow, right? So at least with all that money that you're constantly saving from, instead of paying for a full price car, you can put it and basically build your savings for another goal. And then that other goal could be your next step in life, marriage. That kind of thing. So I guess, I wish I could have done that, but somehow I've managed to overcome all these obstacles. Yeah, I think is fixed deposit a form of investment? It is, right?
FD, yes, yeah. It is. It is actually the risk-free investment.
Yeah.
Because it's insured. Yeah.
Right.
And it's guaranteed as well.
Their accounts also give you returns in interest, their savers account.
Yeah.
And because it's a savers account, right? They don't bond you. Like, if you basically put your money into a fixed deposit account, you basically bond it for like X amount of years or X amount of months, depending on what you want to do with it, right? A savers account basically allows you to earn interest, but at the same time withdraw or even deposit without basically being tied down or losing your investments. Because if you put, let's say for example, if you put your savings into an FD, right, and then you're basically locked on for 1 year, and all of a sudden you have an emergency, you didn't take it out, you basically get completely nothing. Yeah, like completely zero. So I think I was having a chat with you. You said that you kind of like the MTU savers thing. Why did you? What about it do you like?
Exactly that reason. Like one, when you put money in, you need to reach a minimum though, like 2,000 ringgit, and then you can start accruing interest. But you can move money in and out. As long as you stay above 2,000 ringgit, you'll still get your interest.
But Suyin, I thank you so much for coming in and sharing your opinion on how people should save. So is it safe to say that the best way to save is to straight away put yourself in the situation where you only spend what you have, and by doing that is to basically take away a whole chunk of money and save it first. So save first and then spend, rather than spend and save.
Save first, then spend. Because normally, if we wait to what we have left over, there's usually very little or nothing at all.
Oh yeah, that's true. Have you ever been in a situation where you're flat out broke?
Yeah.
Because you have a job.
From spending.
Oh really?
I've said this in my video before. The first thing I did was buy a designer luxury handbag.
Wow.
And that was way above my paycheck.
Oh whoa.
Right?
That means you had I'm pretty sure you had to save for a few months to get it, or
yeah, I was saving beforehand, we're Chinese, right? We get
yeah.
Angbao, and it's
I know.
It's a luxury.
You get your angbao and everything, and your mother comes in. Okay, mommy, keep for you. No,
it's mine.
This is mine. Okay.
I have to buy that bag.
Yeah. Thank you so much for dropping by the studio today. It's awesome to
Have a girl.
Yes.
Yes. We need Jane. Get more girls.
Brandon.
Get more female guests.
Brandon, you're getting married in a year, Brandon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Take
you
it
know
back.
what? I hope you guys have basically taken something away from today's conversation about savings. And of course, everybody has different ways of saving their money. Remember, always save for the rainy day. We're going through one right now, right? But of course, with savings, you can meet your life goals, whether it's a car or a house. But of course, everybody basically thinks differently. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to Maybank. And if you're actually thinking of saving, you can actually get all of your savings or basically put all your savings in Maybank. If you save every month, you can stand a chance to win gold investments and monthly e-vouchers. If you don't have a Maybank account yet, open an account online. We're Maybank to you now before 30th of September. Visit www.maybanktoyou.com.my for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Before we go, Suyin, would you like to say anything to any of our listeners?
Thanks everyone for having me. And if you have any questions, just hit us up on the comments.
Yes, and of course, you can also check out Suyin's YouTube channel. It's called Su Yin Fests.
Or Su Yin Ong.
Su Yin Ong. Yeah, just search Su Yin Ong on YouTube. You'll be able to see all of her videos giving you advice on how you can spend your money, how you can invest your money, how you can save your money, and how you can basically be rich. No, I'm just kidding. Brandon, anything to say before we go?
Yeah, kids, save money. Please don't spend unnecessarily. Know the value of money, and always save.
All right. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you guys next time.